Hello everyone, and welcome to my tier ranking of the levels from Star Fox 64. Star Fox, this was a game that I've played my entire life. I mean, I remember getting it for Christmas when I was like 8 years old, and I played the ever-loving shit out of it, and I always came back to this game throughout my entire life, and I'm excited to see where this stuff lands on the tier ranking board. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with Corneria. This is the home base of Star Fox, General Pepper, and all the fuzzy friends, and the Cornerian army, and all that shit. So you see like a city being destroyed, but with the limitations of gaming at the time, this doesn't look much like a developed city. It kind of looks like it was half-ass finished, and then they just threw some fucking enemies on it and some grassland and a few trees here and there, and they said, "There's your fucking planet." But it's a fun level, especially for a standard one. There are two boss battles in this one. You fight either or. One of them, I mean, they're both fucking easy as shit, but one of them is like stupid fucking easy. If you do follow Falco through the waterfall, you fight a different fucking boss who has a bit of a cooler ship. They're like unlosable. But yeah, we're just getting used to the game here, so it's fine. It's good. It is fun to play Corneria. Next is the Asteroid field. There's a lot of weird enemies here. Several of them are highly annoying enemies. I especially hate those fucking butterflies that throw rainbow dotted circles at you. They're just like... I always remember this level differently before doing it. I always imagine there's way more asteroids to shoot throughout it, but surprisingly every time there's really not. There's a section at the very beginning where you shoot a lot of asteroids, and a section at the very end where you shoot several asteroids. That's it. The rest of this level that you're imagining in your mind of shooting lots and lots and lots of fucking asteroids, it's all in your head. Because you don't. Something that is very cool about the asteroid field is that you can branch off into another dimension. You feel like you go inside of a fucking matrix computer of the asteroid belt. I'm not sure what the place is supposed to be, but it is very peculiar. I love that it's there. That's another place you get to shoot a shit ton of asteroids. Even if rocks don't shoot back, I still enjoy shooting the asteroids and shooting Matrix asteroids. Sure, why not? It's super cool that you get to go to another dimension. I'm actually going to make that reason to put it above Corneria even. Okay, so if you branch off to the right side of the solar system, you go to the asteroid belt. If you branch off to the left, you go to Sector Y. And Sector Y, okay, now I feel like we're pushing into A zone. Way more enemies on screen. There's different paths or routes you can take. It makes this one a bit more replayable. The boss battle at the end is kind of annoying. You're trying to shoot these two fucking sock and boppers at once, but they zip around and they dart all over the place. It's really fucking hard to get a shot zeroed in on them. Oftentimes I would fucking crash right into them and lose a wing. Okay, this one is called Ficina, although none of the other characters ever reference it as such. There doesn't look like there's anything around except some patches of snow, some tiny little hills, and some weird structure in the center. That's all you get. You're fighting just these worthless piece of shit ships until Starwolf and his team come in there, and then you just kick their ass, and they're pretty easy. So I do like listening to Starwolf and Star Fox and my team and their team and just all the banter. Even though it's easy, I do enjoy it. I always like going here and having that little battle. I'll throw it in fucking A, to be perfectly honest with you. Aquis, I'm putting that in D. I never liked going here. It's a slow underwater level. Out of all 15, there is only one that you use a submarine in. This is like the fucking George Lazenby of the levels of Star Fox. It's not like the enemies aren't cool here. They are. It's not like the music isn't good here. It is. Very mysterious and haunting and ethereal. And I'm okay going through this level just once, but if I fucking die, I really dread having to do it again. Even the boss at the end is cool, but all of these check marks that this one gets doing things right, it just doesn't fucking really matter in the end because it's just so slow. Okay, Sector X. Oh, I'm gonna throw Sector X. It's a B. This one is very fucking easy to crash into things. There's a section in this level like fucking halfway through. It's just impossible to dodge shit. Ugh! Fuck! Explain to me how the fuck you're supposed to dodge a spinning wall in a plane. You can't. And even if by some magical miracle you time it just right and get through that shit, there's still tons of other objects just randomly floating around that you will crash into. What I do really like about Sector X, though, is the first third of it, because there is a lot of enemies on screen to shoot. And I do think the boss at the end looks pretty cool, and he doesn't get on my nerves too much. And it is kind of funny how he backhands Slippy onto another planet. Alright, Zonus, I'm going to throw it an S. Yeah. It is fun to try to shoot all the searchlights. It is fun shooting all the enemies. It is fun shooting at all the fucking boats. I think the last boss is cool. Fucking die! No! What? What? He just blew up himself! I kind of like that the whole world is just an ocean of sewage water. I don't know. That's just something about that I like. I even like the musical theme pretty good. So I think that's just checking every box with a very bold green check. You go from a planet with a clean ocean that's boring to a planet with a dirty ocean that's fun. Fuck!
I've got somebody on my tail.
God damn it! Fuck!
This was me and...
Motherfucker. This is getting downgraded. Let's talk about Katina. It's a C tier. This one feels like Mars with Saturn rings around it. What I will say about Katina is it does have an identity to itself, whereas a lot of the other planets, levels, nebulas, whatever the fuck have you, all feel like they're a bit lackluster on features and identity. But this one, there's a lot of interesting creatures. It does feel kind of clunky. There's like a lot of minefields and danger areas that kind of act as speed bumps to this level. I think the boss at the end of it is really cool. It's like this big skeleton dragon. That's what's captured Slippy. And because Slippy is captured here, you don't have to listen to her jabbering on throughout the entire level. And I know I'm going to keep accidentally calling Slippy a she, but that is just totally because I could never buy Slippy as a guy. So I'm just going to reference Slippy as a girl. Okay, Sector Z. Interesting one. Of all 15 levels, this is the one that I frequent the least. Just because, like I said, you have to shoot all the spotlights in Zonus to go to Sector Z. But if you do manage to go to Sector Z, I do enjoy my time with it, I gotta say. If you can get right up behind the missiles and just sort of follow them, you can just shoot them to shit pretty easily and be done with this one. I'm putting it in A tier, although it's kind of got strings pulling it, wanting to pull it down into B, but I think I'll keep it in A just because it is very iconic. I like the big Z nebula. I like that you get to have just some free roam dogfighting in the arena, and then it is a fun challenge trying to shoot the missiles. For whatever reason, I just, anytime I get to go here, I feel a little bit of happiness because I really like it. Okay, Bolse, this is a very interesting one. Now, this level makes me motion sick as fuck because it's a satellite that's spinning the fuck around, and if you spin with the satellite, you're going really fucking fast, and if you spin against the satellite, you're going really fucking slow. You have to destroy these 6 antennas in order to disable these shields of all these enemies, and it is a pain in the ass to try to fucking do that. I'm always fucking crashing into things trying to do this task. If you did skip the third planet, Fortuna, then Starwolf comes in, and that's amazing. You have to shoot this big fucking pillar with buttons on it. It's just like a lot happening on screen, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but there's just a lot of ways to hurt yourself stupidly. And this one does have the motion sick factor, so that's going to weigh heavily on it. But the fact that you can face Starwolf here is pretty awesome. But you're not going to face Starwolf every time, only in certain instances. Anyway, with all that said, it's kind of tough to know where to place this one. It really is tricky. I'm going to give it top of C tier because most of the time you don't see Starwolf. All right. Sector 6. All right, folks, we got an S tier here. There's just so much on screen to shoot at. The enemies and ships and crafts are very interesting. Like, just look at this thing here. I think that looks pretty crazy. I love it that the planet of Venom slowly gets closer over the course of the level and you don't even realize it getting closer. This one, it's so fucking easy to lose your fucking lasers. It's so fucking easy to lose your wings. And then you have to face the boss at the end with a shitty fucking ship that's on fire, lost both its wings. You're down to single shot and you gotta fight this last fucking enemy. Also interesting to note is that this boss does not have an actual character that talks back to you. Maybe for the best, kind of just makes it way more ominous. Would have been a lot easier if I got to this guy with double blue lasers, but that just never was the case. It's easy to get your ass kicked throughout this level, but big satisfaction factor with beating it. All right, the sun planet. I don't really like this level that much. I'm gonna throw it in D. It's a little bit annoying because you're always losing health because of the heat of the sun. So you have to collect these rings as you go through it. I think the boss at the end looks really cool. He's this big fucking lava monster. He's epic looking. You shoot his limbs off and lava pours out. There's nothing else about it that I really like. There's nothing to look at really. It's just fucking a big pool of lava. I mean, yeah, Zonus is just a big pool of sewage water, but this is not as much fun with the engagement or the enemies or what have you. I've just never been a big fan of it. Okay, Macbeth, A tier. Top of A tier. Especially commendable, being that this is a tank level. This one is way more fun than Titania, though, because you're chasing this train throughout the whole thing, and you get to shoot the shit out of it the entire time, which is amazingly satisfying. I like the boss enemy that's constantly antagonizing you throughout the entire thing, the train conductor. Just fucking jabbering on, very memorable, very fun. You can shoot at ships in the sky if there's not enough to shoot at on the ground. So, yeah, while this one is not an R wing, it somehow feels like it has the perfect pace. I like that you have to shoot the 8 switches to open the lock to set the train on course to crash into its own depot. That's just really fun to watch. I like that a lot.
Stop it!
Alright, this one, Katina, not to be confused with Titania. This is the laziest fucking planet in the entire game. At least fucking Fortuna or whatever, Ficini or whatever the fuck this Starwolf map is called, at least they had the decency to put some towers and hills and snow patches throughout it to give it somewhat of an identity. But Katina, they didn't do fucking anything with. Nothing. Not so much as a fucking molehill is to be seen here. Yeah, you have a pyramid and you have the mothership, but that's just not gonna fucking cut it for me. Yeah, it's fun that there's a lot of enemies on screen at once. Yeah, a lot of engagement, a lot of shooting, a lot of pew pew. I like hearing Bill constantly go, "Fox, that's one of ours," because I just fucking mow down like everything in my path. I don't even care. I'm gonna put it in C. And then Venom, it's S. Because Venom, it's essentially like 2 different levels. If you arrive at Venom from the right side of the solar system, what you're doing is facing fucking thousands of enemy ships. I mean, just loads of them. You can launch fucking unlimited bombs and not kill every enemy in this fucking level. There's so many. There's different directions you can go, makes it very replayable. It is lackluster on features and everything until you get to this temple at the end where you fight one of the most interesting bosses. He literally looks like a fucking hieroglyphic that crawled out of the wall. And it's interesting because he's always running away from you. And as you shoot him, it almost looks like fucking chunks of blood start to come out of him. It's pretty crazy, actually. Now, in preparation for this video, I recorded myself playing the game on expert difficulty. I couldn't even fucking get to the temple.
Okay, let's get through here with grace. Ugh, fuck! That motherfucker! Fuck! That fucking piece of shit!
So any gameplay footage you're seeing of me in the temple battling this boss, I put it on regular difficulty to get there because it's too fucking hard.
Dying on me.
if you approach this planet from the left side of the solar system, you're given a completely different thing. You were given a battle with Star Wolf.
Scared us up here! No!
A battle with Star Wolf that is very fucking challenging. I couldn't do it. I tried probably a dozen times.
We'll make sure you never reach Android. We'll just see about that, Star Wolf. Oh man, I'm gonna have to back. No!
I kept running out of R-Wings and I'd have to start the game over, get there again, and I'd lose fucking 5-6 times again. But I wanted to keep on trying it. There were times when I was able to kill 1 or 2 of these guys, which made me feel like I got so close to beating it, but I just couldn't quite get there.
I feel like I would have stood somewhat of a fucking chance if I would have arrived to this Star Wolf battle with full health and double blue lasers, but that was never the case.
Anyway, even though I haven't beat this yet on Expert, I'm going to keep going back to it and beat it eventually.
Okay, folks, so just a few final notes before we close it out here. Typically, as I'm editing together a tier-making video, I'll still go back to the game and play through it multiple more times, just so I can have more footage to incorporate into the edit, and also to see if my opinions change on anything. So typically I call this moment here reassessment round, and I really looked over these levels again, but I don't think I really want to move any of them, to be honest with you. I think I'm going to keep everything just where it's at. So just something to make mention of before I close it out, I played Sector X again, and this time I went through another fucking portal to another dimension. This was something that I had done before, but it was so long ago. I was probably maybe, I don't know, 12, 13 years old last time I did this, and I completely forgot all about it. And I'm glad that I discovered it before uploading this video. But yeah, on Sector X, all you gotta do is shoot these 4 fucking doors that heat up like an oven as you shoot them. You just fly through them, and there you go, you're whisked away to another dimension again. Which was pretty wild to see all these years later, and especially for a game that I think of so fondly and nostalgically, but to see something that I haven't seen in going on 20 years, it really threw me for a loop, and it was just awesome to experience. And after I did it, it transported me to fucking Sector Z, which I was not expecting at all, so that was just really cool.
What the fuck? What? Are you fucking for real?
It's not going to change the ranking of these levels, but it was just worth mentioning. If you made it all the way through this video, I especially appreciate you. I'd love to hear from you and what your favorite and least favorite levels are, or just give me a sequence in the comments below how you'd rank these levels. This was a lot of fun to do, and I definitely plan on making a lot more tier ranking videos, mostly geared towards the N64, at least in this early phase of my YouTube channel. It's just what I enjoy ranking the most. So everyone, once again, I appreciate you watching, and wherever you are, whatever time it is, I hope you're having a wonderful day.